interpretation for true or false. 0 treated as false, non-zero treated as true. It either executes the block or it goes to the next statements. If the expression comes out to be true, it goes to the block, again returns back to the while statement, again returns back. If the expression turns out to be false, it immediately goes to the next statements over here. It goes to the next statement available here. Sorry, where is the pen? Anyway, somewhere I kept my pen. Just 1 minute, hold on. Now, look at this. As I told, if the expression found to be true, if this expression found to be true, it executes the whole block and returns back to again the while statements. And when the expression found to be true, if the return value is non-zero integer, -1, -2, +1, +5, like this. If the expression turns out to be false, returning a value 0, it will not execute these statements directly. It goes to the next statement and continues the sequential executions. Is the flow of execution understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, I gave example here for a block having more than one statement, for a block having one statement. If one statement constitutes the blocks, putting curly braces is optional, your choice. If you want, you can put, otherwise need not to be. Those are the statements what I explained is written over here. The expression is a non-zero value treated as a true, and the while statement will continue to execute. The moment the expression else a value 0 treated as false will come out of this, goes to the next statements. This I explained the flowchart basically of a while statement. Now, first questions. Let me print the value 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9 on the screen, one after another. I took an integer variable I as a counter. I wrote high while I less than 10. Print a percentage g \n I. Then I wrote I assigns to I plus 1 and continue to execute this. If I do this, so when the program runs, this will be I is equal to 1. It executes, it prints the value 1 on the screen. Cursor goes to the next line. I became 2. Then I again re-enter here. It prints 2. Cursor goes to the next line. It continues like this. And it will go on printing up to 9. After printing 9, the value of I will become 10. Now, if you go back to this, I less than 10. Is it true or turns out to be false?
False.
Will come out of this. Yes, it will go on printing the values starting from 1 to 10. It's a very simple programs. If I would like to print in the same line 1, 2, 3, 4 line, do I need to print a backslash?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
To put a backslash and I could put a space over here. I could do it in many ways. Instead of writing it here, I could have written here, let me say, I could have deducted the steps, I could have written I plus here, bracket close and this. I can write one statement. And if I convert it to one statement, I need not to put the curly braces. Understood it, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That I could do also.
1 minute.
Yes.
Sir, I can think that we can also write while I not equal to 10.
Very good, very good. That is also true. That's also true. Another option. Good thinking.
सर बट आई नॉट इक्वल टू 10 में तो 10 के बाद भी प्रिंट करता जाएगा ना?
नहीं, बात तो जाएंगे नहीं, वहां से निकाल के आ जाएंगे. नॉट इक्वल टू 10 में काम करेगा, जब इक्वल टू 10 बाहर आ जाएंगे और जाएंगे नहीं.
हाँ,
ठीक.
आया समझ में?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Very good.
Yes.
So this is one question. So you can print the value 10, 20, 30 up to in the line wise. You can do many ways. You can do the printing over here. So this is one small question. Look at this. I could have written in this way, where these brackets would have been avoided. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One thing, somebody may say, why I'll write this here? I could have done like this. Let me just show that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The third steps. So plus I will be increased fast. I will
Yes.
become 1. When we execute these steps, can anyone say, when we run these steps, what would be the value of I to be compared with 10? Is it 0 to be compared or 1 to be compared?
One
One to be.
Sir, one.
It will go on printing the values like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. Had this been I plus plus, what it would have been printed? Can anyone suggest?
Zero.
Zero, sir.
Yes, it
Zero,
goes
sir.
printing 0. Then the final printing is 9 or up to 10.
10.
10.
10, sir. 10.
Please verify it. Verify it. You can better
10,
understand
10,
in that case. 10. Remote printing. Postfix notations. So all these options you should try. To start with programming language, you should try with all these options. Next, for loop. Let me give the syntax and I'll come to many programs on loop.
Sir,
Yes.
so can we move to the previous slide for a second?
Yes.
The previous one.
Yes.
So the main for looping and this, so I want to take a screenshot.
Take it.
The theory part one.
Yes. Okay.
So the previous one.
उससे पहले कुछ है नहीं.
Sir, you
Okay.
will provide the PDF of this, na sir?
No. You have to read.
Okay, sir, thank you.
वो बात में दूंगा मैं. अभी नहीं.
तो सब
हाँ
खत्म
सर,
होने के
मतलब
बाद.
क्लास खत्म होने के
हाँ
बाद।
वो सब
नहीं, क्लास नहीं, पूरा खत्म होने के बाद.
हाँ वो सब आएगा.
अरे
Yes,
वही
sir.
मतलब
Yes, sir.
टॉपिक खत्म होने के बाद ये
नहीं टॉपिक नहीं बहुत चीज बताने का बाद. अभी
Next.
I know of the students. Is this question, is the syntax of the loop understood or not?
हाँ सर।
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Suppose, now let me give one more example. Suppose I would have printed starting from 9 to 0. Look at this. I would have printed starting from 9 to
0.
0. Let me write down this. I initialize my int I assigns to 9. Okay. Oh, sorry,
Yes, sir.
sorry. 9. Then I can write here while I
Greater than
Greater
0.
than.
Greater than equal to 0.
equal to 0. Yes or no?
Close. Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
could have written here printf. Let me write percentage D.
Sir,
Yes.
so while I minus greater than equal to 0. Printf.
I'm coming. Let me finish first. Let me finish.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
Let me finish. I could write I minus semicolon. Is it accepted or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Printing 9. So now, what has been suggested? Let me come. I'll come to everything. Now he is suggesting let's write them I initialize to 10. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I write I minus. Will it work or not?
Yes, sir.
Or yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I have another choice
Yes, sir.
over here. I have another choice. देखो मैं कैसे करता हूँ चीज. ओह, डिलीट नहीं हो रहा है क्या चीज? Look at this. What is my choice here? I'll write down here. I'll not write down less than greater than. I'll write down only I over here. Will it work or not? Minus I've written. Will it work or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But it will start printing that. Doesn't matter. It will start printing that. In that case, I can write down this minus I or I'll initialize to 9. If I initialize to 9, then I write here I minus. Will it go on printing starting from 9 up to 0? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I only wrote I. Will it work or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
ये
sir.
तब तक print करा when I became 0. When I became 0. Look at this
Then it will
cat.
be
When
false.
I became 0, this loop will continue or exit.
Sir, exit.
Exit.
By not writing I
Sir.
minus.
Yeah.
If I write here,
Sir, mic mute
right
करो.
here.
Sir, tell everyone to mute their mic.
Disturbing.
Hutika Gupta, switch off your audio. Hutika Gupta, बंद करना, switch off your audio. घर में तुम्हारा झगड़ा चल रहा है. Please switch off.
सर वर्ल्ड वॉर चालू है सर.
भूल गया सर माइक ऑन करके।
आप म्यूट कर दीजिए सर, आपके पास होगा सर, होस्ट के पास
पता
होगा।
नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, मेरे और उधर है।
5720 भाई
सर,
किसी
आप
का सिस्टम
म्यूट
नोट
कर
डाउन
दीजिए,
करो ना,
आपके माइक
5720
आप म्यूट कर
नहीं दे
दीजिए।
सर आप म्यूट कर दीजिए। हाँ।
बहुत मुश्किल होता है मेरे को। अच्छा, कम टू दिस. If I write down I minus minus, will it work or not? Tell me, yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you well convinced this expression may not necessarily be a conditional statement? It can be any type of statement.
Yes, sir.
or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Yes, sir. Even if I write I assigns to 0, will the loop be executed at all?
No, sir.
No.
Very
No,
good.
sir.
Very good. If I write down I assigns to 1, the loop will
No.
exit at all? Will the loop exit at all?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
It will
It
continue
will continue to
forever.
execute. Let me write down in red color for a better understanding. If I initialize to 1, so it will keep on executing indefinitely. Do you all agree to me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are you well convinced the expression can be any type of statement, must be returning an integer value? Agree to me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in that while I equal to 1,
Yes.
it will continue to execute until the value of I is equal to 1. Or indefinitely it will continue to
Indefinitely.
execute.
Indefinitely.
Okay, sir.
Indefinitely. मर जाओगे कंप्यूटर टर्मिनेट नहीं होगा.
Okay,
ऊपर
sir.
चला जाएंगे तब
Yes,
तक
sir.
टर्मिनेट नहीं होगा. यही बात ठीक लगी नहीं?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
हाँ.
डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगा बैटरी सर।
Yes,
बैटरी
sir.
डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगा. मेरी
सर ऐसे ही लास्ट क्वेश्चन जो आप दिए थे उसमें मेरा ऐसे हो रहा था कुछ
हाँ, होगा ऐसे होगा.
सर एंडलेस लूप चल रहा था
हाँ, चला फिर. हाँ, हाउ टू कम आउट ऑफ दिस? पुट कंट्रोल सी.
Control.
काम नहीं करेगा कंट्रोल अल्टर डेल. काम नहीं कर रहा स्विच ऑफ कर दो कंप्यूटर. बहुत तरीका है. ठीक है, वेरी गुड. मैं कम टू द फॉर लूप, which is the most preferred loop by those two users. Look at the syntax. Starts with a reserved word for, followed by 3 statements inside the bracket separated by semicolons. S1, S2, S3. There are 3 statements separated by semicolons. S1 semicolon, S2 semicolon, S3 bracket close. Then we have a block to be executed. The next statement to the loop, you all know the block can either be one statement or group of statement. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Can be one or group of statement. If we have a group of statement in the block, I'll write down the block
Then
inside.
curly braces.
Very good. If we have one, purely optional. Coming to the statement S1, S2, S3, what type of statement S1 can be? Can S1 statement be a scanf statement? Can statement S2 be a printf statement? Can S3 statement be a, let's say, function call? Statement S1, S2, S3 can be any type of statements, do remember. Any type of statements. Only restriction here is that statement S2 must return integer value which can either be treated as true or false. Statement 2, there is a restriction. It must return integer value 0 or 1 to treat this either as true or false. But S1 and S3 can be any type of statement. Not necessarily S1 is an assignment statement, S3 is an increment or decrement statement. Not necessarily. Normally S1 happens to be an assignment statement. Initial value of the counter used in the loop. Normally.
Yes,
Can be any
sir.
type of statement. Statement S3 normally update the counters. Normally update the counter, increment or decrement the counter. The examples could be like this. As I told, if we have a group of statements to be executed repeatedly, I'll write down inside curly braces. If I have only one statement, no need to put the curly braces. I'll write them without that. Now coming to this sequence of execution, try to understand this. Statement S1. When we come to the for loop, statement S1 will be executed first and only once. Out of all statement S1, S2, S3, S4, S4, 6 given in the left hand side, S1 appears first will execute fast, but only executed once. Do remember. After S1, it will come down to statement S2. Appears second, executed second. But statement S2 may be executed more than once also. We'll see that. But after execution of S2, we will either go to S4 or will exit from the loop, go to the next statement to the loop. That depends. From S2 will never go to S3. Do remember this. From S2 will never go to S3. Now it appears the third statement. We will either enter to the loop to the statement 4, 5, 6 will go on executing, or I'll come out of the loop. It depends upon the value being returned by S2. If S2 returns a value 0, it is treated as false. If statement S2 returns a value 0, it is treated as false. False means we'll come out of the loop, we'll go to the next statement without executing any more statement 4, 5, 6, 7, any more statements inside the loop. If the statement S2 returns a non-zero value is treated as true. Non-zero integer value may be -1, -2, +1, +2 like this. It is treated as true. We immediately execute statement 4, 5, and 6 like this. And after completion of execution of all statement inside the loop 4, 5, 6, 7, we again execute S3. Do remember, we again execute S3, and after execution of S3, we go to S2. So from S2, if it is true, I'll come to S2, S3, 4, 6. From here, we'll go to S3, and from S3, we'll return back to S2. And this will only happen if the execution of this gives a non-zero value treated as true. If it returns a value false, returns a value 0, treated as false, will directly come over here. This is the sequence of executions. Again, I'm saying S1 is executed first and only once. S2 is executed next. Depending upon the result being returned by statement S2, it is treated as either true or false. Value 0 treated as false, come out of the loop, execute the next statement to the loop outside the curly braces, and next statement to the next. If it is treated as true, non-zero value, it will go to the statement number, enters the loop, go on executing sequentially statements available inside the loop 4, 5, 6, and after completion of this, it goes back to the statement 3, and then from 3, it goes to the statement 2, and it continues to happen till it is not 0, not returning 0, not treated as true, false. Is the sequence of instruction to be executed for a for loop is understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First you understood, yes, first you understood the sequence, the syntax, how to write a for loop. Then we understood what is the execution sequence of for loop. Now let's see one example. Same thing I would like to display on the screen from 1 to 9. Simple example, small example. I wrote a loop like this. In I did initialize in the declaration for I assigns to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and printf this. So if I go on executing this, the statements will be executed 10 times and it will go on printing the value. So started with 1, then 2, then up to 9. Is it understood or not? I is 1.
Yes.
Treated as true. Treated as true.
Yes, sir.
It enters in the printf statement. Prints the value 1. From here it goes here. I will become 2. Again, continue like this. It doesn't matter whether I write I plus plus or plus plus I over here. Doesn't matter. Both will give the same answers. Is it understood to everyone? Yes or no?
Yes,
At the
sir.
moment,
Yes,
after incrementing,
Yes,
the moment this I became 10, after printing 9, I became 10. Is it true or became false?
False, false, false.
False, sir.
False will come out of the loop. And loop doesn't contain a bracket means if I have a for without a bracket, this
One
statement
block.
will be considered as the for, it will go to the next statement.
One block.
Only it will leave one statement if no brackets are there. If there are brackets, it will leave the brackets, go to the next statement.
Go
Is
to
it
the next.
understood? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me do some modification to this code to understand. Is it suppose हाँ मैं बता देता हूँ आगे पूछना I will not write down this here. I'll write down in place of this I'll write down I plus plus. Will it work or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a valid statement.
Yes, sir.
Statement S3 is purely optional. Statement S3 is purely optional. I may not write anything in statement S3. Same thing will happen. Same thing will happen. But I have to write less code. Is it understood? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
समझ में
Sir,
आया?
if we write in this format, then we will give the semicolon after that I less than 10.
Yes. Yes. You have to put a semicolon. End of the statement 2.
Yes,
Statement 3, you may not.
Okay. Sir.
Look at this. Can I write it in the same for statement? I'm showing multiple options. Look at this option. ऐसे लिखे मैंने सब ऑप्शन दिखा रहा हूं. Look at the second option.
Now, yes, sir.
Look
Yes,
at this. Look at this. As I told, statement 3 can be any type of statements. Will it start printing from 0 or start printing from 1?
1.
1, sir.
1,
1.
0.
No, it's
One,
starting from 1. Look at
It
this.
will start from 1.
Yes. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Sir,
I'm telling, don't worry.
Yes,
don't
sir.
worry. So I is initialized to 0. Tested to be true. It came here. Here it will make I2.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then when it goes back, it will print the value of I as 1.
I1.
Is it understood? Tell me yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, why should I write so many statements here? Let's further minimize it. Look at this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is the easiest.
Look at this. Look at this. I could do it in the same statements. Only, but every for statement, if I'm writing, it demands to have at least one statement to be executed repeatedly. So I'll put it this. This is a null statement in C. You have to put the semicolon, otherwise syntactically incorrect. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Look
sir.
at
Yes,
this.
sir.
It will come from here to here. From here, it will go to printf statement or semicolon.
Semicolon.
Colon.
Semicolon, nothing will happen. It will come back to this.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I could make a change here also. In place of this I plus plus, I can write it here also. I plus plus less than 9. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Agree, sir.
Yes, sir. लिख सकते हैं. Do you understand? इसी टाइप का तुमको समझना पड़ेगा लूप में. कैसे मतलब पोस्टमार्टम करके ये होता क्या होता? Is it understood? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Write a program. अब लिखो write a program to display 0 to 9, then 9 to 0. Okay, using 0 to 9, then 9 to 0, in reverse order, using if and for statement.
एक ही लाइन में लिखना है सर.
And 0 to 9, then 9 to 1. कैसे भी लिखो, पहले तो कोशिश करो कैसे efficiently लिख सकते हो. Okay,
Sir,
you write it
using-
anyway. I don't mind how you are writing, but find out an efficient way of writing. My
Sir,
question
using
is, you
which
check
statement?
which will be most efficient. I don't put any restriction.
Yes,
Sir,
You ask
repeat
me
the
one-
question.
लूप को
1 to 9. No, you don't
reverse
tell
घुमा
me.
दें.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Sir, can you repeat the
1 to
question?
9, then 9 to 1. Okay. Write loops and if statements and write it in an efficient way. You find out. कैसा efficient होगा.
Sir, in a single line.
Sir.
Sir.
Yeah, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't
Yes,
tell
sir.
me.
Yes, sir.
Don't tell me. Okay. Your task is to find out which is the simplest and better way of writing.
Yes, sir.
Next, I'm doing a very small program before this. So enter 10 numbers from keyboard and count the number of odd numbers and find their sums. I will enter 10 number from the keyboard. If it is a odd, I'll count and find out sum of odd numbers only. If it is an even, I'll discard the number. I will not do the addition. Is it understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
अरे
Yes,
प्रॉब्लम
sir.
समझ में आया कि नहीं आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो पहले क्या करें? Declare variables and initializations. Look at this. I have a variable sum assigned to 0. I have a n which is used for the loop. How many times I will execute? Loop will be executed 10 times. N might not have been required. Count. To count how many odd numbers are there, I took a counter variable for my loop I. Let me write down the loop which will be executed for 10 times. Can I write a for statement which will be executed a loop for 10 times?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I assigns to 0, I less than 10. or I assigns to 1 less than equal to 10, anyway you write. My loop will be executed for 10 times. Now I'll read the number. Let me write on printf and scanf statement to read the number in the variable n. मैंने number पढ़ लिया.
Yes, sir.
Check the number is odd or not. How do I check the number is odd or not? I'll divide it by 2. If the remainder is 1, the number is odd, otherwise the number is even. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let me divide it by 2. If the remainder is 1, mod operator, it is an odd number.
Sir,
it is an
this is
odd.
the modulus operator, no?
Yes,
Percentage.
modulus operator, modulus
Yeah.
operators. Okay, then my counter will be increased by 1, my sum will be sum plus n. Otherwise, I'll not do this. I'll again come out and repeat my for loops. Is it understood, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I do this without writing this if statement? Let me see. Is it necessary to write on n by 2, n mod 2 is equal to 1, or I can write like this? कौन
Yes,
सा
sir.
अच्छा लग रहा है, पुराना
This is
वाला
also-
नया वाला?
Never.
नया वाला
हो
सर.
सकता है,
आप सही लग रहा है.
अब सही लग रहा है. उससे भी सही है. I can avoid writing if. Look at this. उससे भी सही है. Count equal to count
Yes.
plus n mod 2. Sum equal to sum plus n mod 2 into n. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ऑड होने से आड होगा, इवन होने से 0 मल्टीप्लाई 0 आड हो जाएगा. इज इट अंडरस्टैंड? आई डोंट यूज द if statements.
हाँ,
इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है. So same program
Yes,
I
sir.
should test in different ways so that I will learn the whole syntax of the programming language.
सर हम if n modulo to not equals to 0 भी तो लिख सकते हैं.
हाँ, लिखो, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? And if I want to do it for even number, what should I have done over here? For even number, मैं क्या करता इधर?
n modulo
n
to
mod 2 equal to
मैं
0.
zero लिखता.
Physical zero.
Equals to 0.
0 लिखता. अच्छा, मैं 0 तो ये तो नहीं काम करेगा. मैंने डबल इक्वल नहीं लिखना चाहता हूँ. I'll write down n mod 2. यहाँ क्या करता मैंने?
Not equal.
Not.
हाँ,
Not equal.
सामने
ऐसे दे देता.
Not देना पड़ेगा.
Yes, sir.
Is it understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
यही सब है
Yes, sir.
तरीका. कैसे छोटा प्रोग्राम लिखोगे? So this program is understood to you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
वही
Yes,
सब
sir.
समझना है. Look at this. I wrote count equal to count plus this for better understanding. Someone can write count plus equal n by 2, sum plus equal like this. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now this program which we have done, you will do it using loop. We did it using repeated steps. If you remember, display the time total of a single pendulum
Yes,
for
sir.
different
Yes.
values
Yes, sir.
of difference of
sir.
length
Yes.
10. Today you will write it with the help of a loop. Okay. So
Okay.
all this program, you know this. I have written it, but do not copy and write. So make a habit of writing on your own. Okay. So let me discuss up to this. I have a meeting now. Okay, I'm going today. I may not meet you. If you have doubt, keep a note of this and for the next class. But I'll request my technical assistants to give one or two more program on while and for loop to carry out in the class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But the program which I
Yes,
gave,
yes,
you
sir.
do it.
Yes, sir.
There will
You
be
will
given
not
few
come in
more
breakout room.
programs using for and while loop. But keep a practice of what I suggested here. This type of interesting things which you might not have seen earlier. Those who have learned C also.
Yes, sir.
Agreed or not?
That question again, the
Yes.
pendulum one.
Sir, you will not come today in
And
breakout.
today I will not again meet possibly. If possible, I will come. Let me see whether I can have a
Can you
meeting
show
and
that pendulum question again?
again pendulum. Same simple, same question. We have done it. We'll only do it using this for loops. That's all. We have done it earlier. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Meeting. So, अरे
Yes, sir.
ये अच्छा कौन?
सर नमस्कार. आज्ञा सर.
राजश्री ने कौन?
Yes, sir.
आज्ञा सर अच्छी
हाँ,
सर.
let-
नमस्कार.
So now you enter to your
Breakout room, sir.
breakout rooms. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
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 सर.
Thank you, sir.
हाँ, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Students, now you can enter to your respective rooms.
Yes, ma'am.